Fox News alert thousands of illegal immigrants flooding over our southern border each and every day. Now a caravan of at least 6,000 is closing in. Both sides of the aisle pressuring President Biden to do something to stop it and do it now. This is the Faulkner Focus. Hello, everyone. I'm Julie Banderas in for Harris today. So Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas were both in Mexico yesterday to discuss the border crisis. DHS calls their meeting with the President Obrador in Mexico and others, quote, very productive. Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace says it's not even close to good enough.
Blinken's visit to Mexico is all about paying lip service to this issue. We are seeing independents, Republicans, and Democrats getting very angry about what they're seeing at the border. This is a massive, massive problem for the Biden administration. They refuse to address it.
Self-proclaimed sanctuary cities are crumbling under the massive weight of the crisis. Texas sending busloads and now planes full of illegals their way. A tiny fraction of what border communities are facing right now. Democratic mayors, meantime, from New York, Denver, and Chicago are tearing into Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Listen.
This is a national problem that has only been exacerbated by Governor Abbott's cruel, inhumane politics.
Denver finds itself right now at ground zero in trying to resolve and respond to the migrant crisis. We are the first big city north of El Paso and the cheapest bus ticket and the shortest trip for the governor.
Our local economies are not designed and built to respond to this type of crisis. We are literally building a system as we go along.
Team Fox coverage, Nate Foy on those liberal city mayors now feeling the heat. First, Fox Business's Grady Trimble on the Biden administration's handling or not handling of the crisis. Grady.
Hey, Julie. Yeah, we saw that post on X from Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas calling yesterday's meeting in Mexico City very productive, but we didn't really get any specifics from Mayorkas or Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who was also in the room. Mexico's President Obrador this morning, though, said the two sides agreed to open rail crossings at the border that had been closed because of the surge of migrants. But he says fentanyl hardly came up.
Unfortunately, I think this is just a, hey, we went down there, they'll check the box, but nothing's going to get resolved.
They went down there for a photo op, but the policies have not changed. If they were serious about it, they would look at the tools that they took off the table, such as the Remain in Mexico policy.
Notably, while the meeting was taking place, and still right now, a group of thousands of migrants is making its way through Mexico toward the United States, and it's not clear how either country plans to deal with that caravan. Just this month, there have been more than 250,000 migrant encounters at the southern border, more than 35,000 encounters over Christmas weekend alone. And meantime, immigration talks in the Senate are ongoing, but slow going. They're happening remotely this week with so many lawmakers taking time off for the holidays. Julie.
Grady Trimble, thank you very much. So 3 of those sanctuary city mayors held a virtual media brief yesterday. They are demanding restrictions on when and how many of Governor Abbott's buses can arrive, and they're pleading with the federal government for more funding. National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd says all the blame should go to Biden.
If they would actually come from a position of strength and start talking to Biden like it's his fault, then they would get his attention. These mayors need to clearly say this problem is a federal government problem. It's not a Greg Abbott problem. It's a federal government problem. And if they put the blame where it lies, then they have a chance of getting this crisis fixed.
Nate Foy with more. Hey, Nate.
Hey, Julie. So moving forward, charter bus companies will have to communicate with New York City 32 hours before dropping migrants off at a designated location. This is after an executive order from Mayor Adams. All drop-offs must happen between 8:30 a.m. and noon, Monday through Friday. Now, any bus company that fails to do that could be fined or face other penalties. Mayor Adams issued the executive order Wednesday after a record 14 migrant buses arrived from Texas in a single day last week. Adams said he can't even get a meeting with President Joe Biden to address this issue. Listen to him here.
We cannot continue to do the federal government's job. We have spoken to FEMA and other federal officials who have expressed concern about the border's surge but not offered additional help. We need action, and we need it now.
Julie, you mentioned it. The mayors of Chicago and Denver are also asking for more federal help. They want more money. They also want to expedite the approval of work authorizations for migrants. Brandon Judd with the National Border Patrol Council says the problem will continue so long as migrants are incentivized to come here illegally.
If we secure our border, we have to stop releasing these people into the United States. We have to stop giving that magnet that draws so many people to cross our borders illegally. As long as we continue to give them aid, they're going to continue to come.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, you saw, met with the Mexican president yesterday discussing the crisis, which so far has seen record-breaking numbers for illegal migration. Grady just mentioned it. The southern border is on pace for the most migrant encounters ever in a single month, with roughly 250,000 so far in December, which means more buses could be coming up to sanctuary cities like New York. I'll send it back to you, Julie.
Unbelievable. Nate Foy, thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.